Hello, friends. How are you? Say hello when you pop on. I am just a couple minutes late, and I want to make sure that, sorry guys, got a little bit of a cold here. So I'm not going to get started until I see a couple of you pop on, and I know it's been a while, so my algorithm is probably in the toilet again. But I'm going to grab the link for this cute little kit for you guys. Let's see. Got to do the search here. All right. I'm going to grab the link. I can remember how to do this. And my nose is probably going to start running. Hello, hello. I see a couple of you popping on. I've had a cold, and it's been really good today and yesterday, but now my nose is probably going to start running. Hello, Robbie and Rose and Barb. Okay, so I got to remember how to copy this link. All right, and now I'm going to come back over here and come onto Facebook and see if I can catch myself live, and I'm going to post the link for this kit for you. Come on. Okay, I'm going to turn my volume down so I don't have to hear me. There we are. Okay, I am going to, is it going to let me comment? Hello? Hello? Okay, no, I want to comment. There we go. Oh gosh. Okay. Ta-da! I did it. Okay, so there is, hello Marcia. There's the link for you guys. Sorry about my sniffing, okay? I thought that I was going to be just fine. Okay, guys, so I have a brand new kit for you, and it has been at least a couple of weeks since I've been live. So I hope that those of you that are here will continue to hang out with me tonight, because you know what happens, and I know what happens. When I don't go live for a while, then my algorithm tanks and Facebook doesn't put it out there. So the more that you guys react with me, the more that it will raise it up into the feed. And so hopefully we could get some more friends on here. We are not in Craft Around the Clock, you guys, tonight. I think this is actually my first video since I decided that I wasn't going to do Craft Around the Clock for a little while. Not for anything bad, but just because I had a lot of things that I was trying to get together, and 45 minutes is really, really hard for me to do, and I found that I was just really struggling with that. You're sniffling also. Well, you know, it really has left. I was just kind of running around at the last minute as per, you know, my usual. And I was outside in the cold air, so it kind of made my nose start running again. Okay, so we have, you guys, this cute little Wonky bunny. So it's a new Wonky bunny, and it is inside of a frame. So if you guys can see this Valentine one that I did here. Whoops. Grab all my greenery and have it come crashing down. We did this one last month, and I loved this one so much that I decided that I needed to do. Okay, what's happening here? I'm going to have an avalanche of greenery come toppling down. Stick up there. There it goes. Okay. Ah, the joys of live videos, right? Hi, Brenda. Thank you for sprinkling, my friend. Okay, so back to that. We loved it. And so I decided that I needed to have one for every season. And I considered making these interchangeable, but the thing with interchangeable is that, you know, you can only do the frame one way, and then you can only do the back one way unless you don't glue the back on. And so I thought that's just way too much thinking. We're just going to make a new one. So this one has lots of fun layers to it. Now I have to remember how everything goes. We've got this cute little flower watering can that has some flowers coming out of the top. We've got this cute little bunny with, she's got some fun. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to make her a he or a she tonight. It will all depend on how it comes together. And then I didn't cut something for that, so you'll see. So our cute little watering can has a heart on it. We have all these cute little flowers and our flower centers. I could use those. And then our little tiny flowers that go across our pocket, which holds our carrot. Where'd my carrot go? And you guys, she is just so stinking cute. So you can see I did share the mock-up that I made. And I did it all in kind of springy colors. So I did it in what I have, like a background of green, and did some yellows and pinks and all the things. And I decided today that I was going to do this a little bit different. So you guys know that I love to do my scrapbook paper on some of my projects, and I thought this would be so cute covered in some scrapbook paper. So we are gonna paint the frame, but I'm not really sure what color yet, so I'm gonna put that off to the side. I'm gonna turn our cute little bunny around and let you see all that fun dimension and all of those pieces there. So I did take my Dremel tool, and let me get a clean paper towel. I did take my Dremel tool and I beveled all of the edges, and I'll I keep wanting to say her. I will hold her up and show you. And I also did take the sanding band and kind of clean off the edges a little bit more here. And I was experimenting. I think that I like the way that looks, because it kind of gives it a little bit more, instead of just looking burned, it gives it a little bit more of a distressed look, if that makes sense, because it looks sanded. So I thought that was really cute. Okay, but what we're going to do today is we are going to cover her with some scrapbook paper. And I have to apologize ahead of time. I'm not going to be able to do this as Kimber's Craft Box because I did not have enough paper. It takes so much paper on these bigger pieces. And I did kind of have an idea in my mind, and we talked about this last time. I have been having the hardest time finding good scrapbook paper, even at Hobby Lobby. So we went there a couple weekends ago when we took Nora to the dinosaur show, and I still didn't find what I wanted. So I did reapply to get in with my scrapbook paper wholesaler, and I'm going to start looking into that. So with all that being said, I won't be able to provide the papers for this kit, but I will show you all of the things that I used, and you can cut these papers yourself. So even though it is cut out in the Wonky style, I know that you can trace around this and get it to be good enough, especially if you're going to make it a little bit distressed. You glued together and then sanded. So no, actually nothing is glued together yet. So Robbie, I do actually cut my wood in 1/2 inch. So if that's what you meant. So, but you could so totally cut 2 of these out in 1/4 inch and then glue them together. But this is actually 1/2 inch, but it would look exactly the same. So you could totally do that, okay, to give it that chunky look. So I don't know, everybody's laser, or those of you who have a laser, they're all a little bit different and different powers. When I had my Glowforge, sometimes I could barely get that thing to cut through 1/4 inch wood, but I think if you slow things down, it definitely would work. I have a Thunder Nova 130 watts, so it will cut through this, but I think even the 100 watts will cut through the 1/2 inch wood. But if you can't do that, then there is nothing wrong with just doing 2 layers of the 1/4 inch. So, but yes, so then I sanded it. So you can see what I'm talking about, where I think that just looks so much more fun in distressed. See, Rose, you could just cut your own scrapbook paper. All you would have to do is lay this down this way and trace around it, and then cut around it the best you can. And then you're going to want to sand, but make sure that you flip your paper over when you trace around it so that when you turn it right side up. Ask me how I know that. Okay, so I did cut the papers with my laser. If you do not have a laser and you order a kit, if you have a silhouette, I could possibly send you, let me recant that. I cannot send you that SVG file because this SVG file is actually only available in the Kimber's Cutting Club. So, and I need to keep that exclusive to those members for now. So, but you can trace around it and you can cut your own papers. So for the back, I am using this. My lighting in here is terrible. This is kind of a cream colored with really tiny, not even all the way brown, maybe like a dark tan pin dot. And then it's actually got some extra texture on that paper. And that's what I'm going to use for my background. So we're going to go ahead and get that laid down and let that be drying before we do the rest of it. And I'm going to, here, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here really quick. I'm going to take my frame and I'm going to really, really lightly draw where the inside of my frame is. And I'll tell you why. Because I want my glue to be wood to wood. I didn't get that side very good. And I have to remember that I am not in a hurry tonight because I'm not on a time frame. Okay, so let me put that in there. This would be better done with a pencil. It's not really, oh, it doesn't want to go. What's happening here? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to trim off part of the outside of this paper because I want my wood, when I glue my frame down, I want wood to wood. If I glue this paper down and then I glue the frame on top of the paper, it would probably be fine. But just to be on the safe side, I want to make sure that I have a better bond. So I traced around the inside of the frame and I'm going to go ahead and probably leave about, oh, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch around the outside of that. Okay. So I don't have to worry about trying to cut around all those little wonky curves. So you guys, I go back and forth with the scrapbook paper versus painting. I just love the way that the scrapbook paper gives everything a little extra fun character. Okay, so now what I need to do is make sure, get up there, and that my paper is, let me scooch that over that way just a little bit, because I don't really want to see my lines. A lot of that's going to be hidden. Okay, so that is good. Now I'm going to hold that for a second. And I'm going to grab a piece of tape. Okay, so I'm just going to tape that down like that. And then I'm going to grab my Mod Podge, give it a little shake. Hi, Rose. How are you? Or I said Rose. Rosebrook Cottage, and it is Shannon, right? Please tell me I got that right. Okay, so I'm going to Mod Podge my paper down on here. a nice healthy amount. I could put it on the back of my paper, but since I have my paper kind of hinged up here, I'm just going to leave that. I'll just put it over here on the wood. And it is okay if I don't get it all the way out to the edge, because it's going to be covered and then glued down with the frame. So we're just going to kind of wing it here a little bit. And I know that it will be just fine. It feels really nice to not have to worry. I was telling one of my friends that I feel like sometimes, having been on the Craft Around the Clock video time, that I made myself look like such an airhead half the time because I was always so discombobulated and in a hurry. So, all right, okay. So my pin marks are going to show just a little bit, but that's my own fault. We can fix that. Okay, so I have everything. That looks like it's going to fit just fine. So let me grab a little paper squeegee here and squeegee that down. Whoops, and I got some Mod Podge on there. That's okay. Our bunny's going to go there, so that probably will not show. All right, so now I'm going to let that set. And then we'll go back and we will glue this in place. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. And I had some, where did I put them? I have some little clamps, and I just had them the other day. What did I do with them? That's okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and glue our frame down. You need to find other crafts using scrapbook paper other than scrapbooking. So, Rose, I literally have made like 2 or 3 scrapbook, never a scrapbook, but scrapbook pages even, in my whole life. But I am a hoarder of pretty paper. So I always used to say I wanted to be a scrapbooker and I wanted to do a lot of paper crafts, but I always kept migrating back to painting, and so I still hoard it, but I do love to create some of my painting projects or my wood projects and use the scrapbook paper because I always feel like it just makes it so dang cute. Okay, so I have gone around the edges. And now I'm going to flip this over. Boop. And I have the holes up here and the holes here. And even though I'm not sure if I'm going to use them, just make sure you get everything lined up. Now, because these pieces are laser cut, there is a little bit of weird pieces that don't quite match up because it's from the kerf. So you might see a tiny bit of overhang on one side or the other, and I would have to go back and readjust that. So kerf is when the laser or a blade, like if you're using a saw even, you're always going to have a little bit of kerf, and that is the amount of wood that is being kind of cut away with the laser or the saw blade. So sometimes you'll see that there's a tiny bit of an overhang, but that can be fixed with some sanding. So I think that all looks pretty good, and I didn't even need to use my clamps. So we are good to go. Okay, so we're going to let that dry while we do the rest of our project. Oops. And I have a void right there. Can you guys see that? Hello, Jamie. So if I ever accidentally send you a kit that has one of those voids, know that that was done by accident, because normally I will catch that. But that is just a void in the wood. If you do happen to get one of these, if it drives you crazy, then just get a hold of me and I can send you a new piece. However, sometimes I will just, depending on what I'm working with, I will just fill that with hot glue and let it dry. And then I will just go over the top of it with paint. Okay, so we're going to set that off to the side to dry. And then we're going to come over here to our cute little bunny. But before we do put our papers on, I'm going to go ahead and ink up the edges of my wood before I put my paper on. I'm doing great, Jamie. How are you? Getting over a cold. So when I first came on, I was doing all kinds of sniffling. And the reason that I'm doing this, you guys, is because I have already beveled the edges of my wood pieces with my Dremel. So my paper isn't going to fit on there perfect, but we are going to be doing some sanding. And so it will turn out just fine. But I want to make sure that I get anything that might possibly be showing inked up. I am so loving how that looks sanded. Hello, Mary Jane. How are you? That's okay, my friend. We're not in a hurry tonight. We're not in a hurry, so you are just fine. And yes, oops, I saw something that, woo, they just go so fast. I saw somebody said it would probably, you can't see it with the naked eye, and you are correct. I can see it because I want them to fit together perfectly, but, you know, is anything really perfect? And plus, everything that I do is distressed most of the time anyway, so that just adds to the wonkiness. I am so loving this little tiny bunny. I actually saw this. I have something similar. If I find something that inspires me, I never ever copy it exactly, but I sometimes will use a little bit of this and a little bit of that so that I can kind of use the idea. And I loved this silly little bunny and his funny little face. Okay. I don't know how that got pink on it. So now let's go ahead and I should have done an offset, an internal offset on this just a little bit. But we'll sand, so it'll be fine. Because now my little bevels aren't going to show through. So since I'm not in a hurry, what I'm going to do, okay, so this would have fit on there. So I've laser cut this. You can cut this with a silhouette. I laser cut it just because it's so fast. But an internal offset would make it so that it was just a little bit smaller. And so my beveled edges would show. And because I didn't do that, I'm going to just kind of give this a tiny little internal offset with some scissors. So this is just, you can see that skinny little piece of paper that I'm cutting off of there, because I do want those beveled edges to show. So we're just going to cut off just a tiny bit. And because my bunny is wonky, I don't need to worry about going in straight lines. So that means if my paper is a little bit off, then that's fine too. So you can see what I'm talking about if you do get a kit and you wanted to do the scrapbook paper, how you can trace around it and do your own, use your own scrapbook paper, because it doesn't have to be perfect. And did I ever tell you guys how the wonky things were born? So I use Silhouette Studio to design all of my kits. And I was trying to make a snowman, which is how the Wonky snowman, the standing Wonky snowman, was born. Hi, Pammy. Oh, thank you, Jamie. And so I was trying to make the snowman, and when I use Silhouette Studio, I use editing, so I will draw like a circle or a square, whatever, and then I use the editing points to kind of start moving things how I want to. Well, when I was making that snowman, I kept messing up and I was getting like so annoyed because everything was all wonky. And I thought, you know what? We're going to make him a wonky snowman. And so I thought that I had saved a picture of something, and I went back and I looked and I was like, yes, that is what we're doing. And that is how the wonky things were born. Okay, so now we have our paper, and I've cut just enough off of that that we're going to be able to see those beveled edges. Sorry. I really hate sniffing and blowing my nose in front of people. It makes me very self-conscious, but I can't help it. All right. I'm just taking off a little bit more. Alrighty. We are good to go. Okay, now before I glue that down, I'm going to go ahead and take my finger dauber here, and I am using Versamagic Jumbo Java for my brown, and I'm just inking up the edges. Whoops, that got a little dark, but that's okay. Inking up the edges of my paper. So if you are a paper crafter, you know how to do this. We're gonna get down inside those ears, and this is just kind of giving it some extra depth. So I have drawers full of ink colors as well, and you just pick a color that suits your fancy. Okay. Now I'm not going to worry about gluing his feet on top of the paper because I think that will be fine. We're going to do the same thing to our feet here. We're just going to take a smidgy-widgy off. Honestly, you guys, the more off your cuts are, the cuter he's going to look, or she, whichever we decide to make her, because it's just going to go right along the lines of silliness and all those little fun wonky edges. I'm just going to make sure that everything shows. Normally, this is where I would start getting super nervous because I've already used up half an hour. And this is why I can't craft something in 45 minutes. Oh, what did I miss from Miss Kimberly? Sniffing and wiping is better than dripping. I know. I've just always been that way. Really self-conscious about having a runny nose. Okay. If I absolutely have to, I will blow my nose, but I'll probably step over there to do it. Because I'm just weird like that. Okay. So just inking those up, and then we're going to get to gluing. So my bunny and the frame are the only things that I did, that I used the Dremel on. Everything else is just a straight cut. But we can wonkify that with our little sander. Alrighty, so our bunny is all ready to go. Let's get rid of that. Now let's get our Mod Podge back out. And that is my, I gotta grab my other paper towel. And let's get this Mod Podge on here. And we got a big Mod Podge boogie. So I'm just gonna put my Mod Podge straight onto my wood. You can put it on your paper if you want. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on the wood. And I didn't sand my wood other than the edges or do anything special to it. It's just my raw wood. Kind of dab that around. And we will lay our paper down. I need to make sure that my fingers are clean. That's the only thing. You don't want to get dirty fingers, inky fingers on your paper. So we're going to lay our paper down. Get it centered up there. And we'll link everything together. And then I'm going to get another clean paper towel because my painting surface is kind of messy. And I'm just going to make sure that my paper is pressed down. Okay, so for the bunny, I just used, hopefully you'll be able to see that. It's not really a floral print per se, but it's got these little teeny tiny flowers, and it's a nice kind of creamy yellow color. Oh, thank you, Rose. Hello, Angela. Okay, so I tried to pick something. I wasn't really going for super bright because I'm really into the muted tones right now. But I did want something springy. So I thought that this paper would be perfect. I thought that I had a yellow that was a little bit brighter, but then I found this and I thought, oh, this is super cute. So I'm just dabbing that Mod Podge on there. And we'll get his all laid down. And then I'm going to flip it over and just press. Thank you, Jamie. Isn't it fun and soft? And so, Angela, since you're probably just popping on, I did the back in this kind of creamy pin dot color. So there's not a ton of contrast, but enough. There's enough of it. And then I think I'm going to stain the frame. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that kind of in an antique-y white or how I wanted to do that, but I think we'll do like a faux stain on that. How's that sound? And that will give it kind of that rustic look. Okay, I got to make sure I rinse all the Mod Podge out of that brush. I'm so bummed. I ruined one of my brushes. Can you see that? Because I didn't get it quite rinsed out enough, and then I left it lay like this on top of my rinsing container here, and the white paint pulled up in there. I usually lay them all right here and then I wash them when I'm done, but for some reason I left it lay there. Okay, so now I think I'll just go ahead and use this brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to take I have my burnt umber here. I need a paper plate. And here's a paper plate that I was using for, whoops, there went something. And I'm just going to put my burnt umber here. And you could do this before you put your frame on, but I'll be careful. So I'm just doing a little bit of paint because we're going to do like a wash, okay? Let me move all this stuff out of the way so you can see me. So I have my paint on my paper plate here, and I'm just going to kind of roll my brush around in my paint, but I want lots of water. And then I'll be really careful and start on the edges here so that I don't get it on my paper. It probably would have been smart to pick what I was going to do prior to gluing paper down. But that's okay. We're going to make it work. And then I'm just kind of working from the inside, kind of out towards the edge with really, really wet paint. But I'm going to go back and wipe it away. So I'm just being careful not to drip any of that paint on my paper. Okay, so I got my paper towel wet, and then I'm just going to kind of come over here and wipe away that paint and kind of get it down onto the edges that are beveled. And that will give us a little stained frame. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here with my brush. Working that down into the grain. This would be really easy to do it just with a paper towel as well. But because I'm trying to keep it away from my paper, I'm just gonna do it with the brush. Getting right up to those edges. And wipe it away. And that gives it that nice stained look. So I think that looks really cute. So that's going to kind of add to my rustic. Let's see. Hi, Leanne. Oh, I missed something. Oh, maybe that was about the paintbrush. I'll go back and read that. I saw something about warm water. Try a little Murphy's Oil soap. That's what I actually used to use to clean my brushes. And this last time I actually found pink soap. Do you guys remember pink soap from way back in the tool painting days? So I bought that this time. You had a brush that was a little hard and you didn't get it rinsed out and it softened it right up. Okay, I think I might actually have a little bit of the Murphy's Oil soap left, so I'll give that a try. I will do that. Can't hurt to try, right? So I got a little buckle in my paper right there. You know what would have been really cute with this paper, you guys, is to kind of give it a little bit of a crumble before we glued it down and then inked it up a little bit. I saw that little wrinkle and I thought it was kind of cute, so that would have been a cute idea. Okay, now let me make sure my fingers are clean. And everything looks good. Everything's glued down. Whoops, I do have a little bit of a, might have to put some more glue on there. And let's see how that's going to look in there. Adorable. How cute is that? So you guys can kind of see that contrast. It's just enough to give it a fun little contrast, but not so much that it's, it still keeps it nice and soft. What did I do with my, okay, so I see a couple places that I want to ink up a little bit. And then, because I want my paper to be a little bit distressed around the edges, I have to do a little bit more inking. I'm going to come around in just some places and give my paper a little stress. And then I'll just come back and re-ink those spots. There we go. Love it. Okay, let's do my little feetsies here. Oops. Okay. So you can do as little or as much as you want. I just wanted to kind of give it a little bit more fun by scruffing up my paper a little bit. The new Dawn spray stuff works really good. I have not tried that. My mom had some and it worked pretty good. But I don't use that at home, but maybe I'll have to get me some. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and, even though we just kind of stained our frame, I want to come back over here and make sure that my edges still look distressed where I beveled. So I'm just running my little sander over all the edges, and it should just take that right away where my beveling is. That is going to be so darn cute. It's amazing what you can just do with a little paint wash. Okay, so see, I can see right here where my frame is off just a smidge. When you glue yours together, you can actually go back over this with a sander, which will then make your edges look a lot like this, which will make it just really cute. So if that bothers you, that's what you can do. And I might go back and adjust that curve just a smidge. I pick things apart. Okay, so I'm going to kind of get rid of any dust in there. And now I'm going to take a dry brush. Let's use one of my funky little ink brushes here. And I'm going to get a little bit of ink on here. And we're just going to go around, let me offload this a little bit. We're going to go around the inside of that frame. Get out there. Just a smidge on that paper. For two reasons. Because I can see my ink line. Just a tiny bit. But also it'll give it a little bit of kind of like shadowing on the inside. And add to our distress. You guys, I know I'm terrible about stopping in the middle of a sentence. That's because my brain is going faster than I can talk. So sometimes I just get like stalled out. Anybody else do that? You know how like when your computer freezes for a second? My brain does that. Okay. Just kind of trying to get in those little corners. You could probably also do this with like a paintbrush. So I'm just kind of smearing things. My husband will be like listening to me and he'll go like, get it out, Kim. I can't help it. It just happens. Okay, so let's see. Let's get that in there a little bit more. And then I'm just going to take my little brush here and just kind of go a little bit more. You can see where I accidentally wiped that Mod Podge. But that's okay because our bunny's going to cover that up. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but see how I just kind of gave it a little bit of shadow on the inside? And then now when we put our cute little bunny in there, oh my gosh, I love this so much. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move on to the rest of our pieces. All right, so I'm going to set this right here. And we have all of our fun little overlay pieces. Okay, so if you guys are in the Cutting Club and you are watching, let's clean that off. One of the things when I started the Cutting Club, I kind of said this in one of the videos, is that over the last couple years, or year and a half or so, I have had multiple people reach out and ask if I could convert the files over to the PDF format so that they could cut it with their scroll saw or jigsaw. So the SVG files, not only can you cut them with wood, but you can use your electronic cutters and you can do paper piecing with them. So, and also if you are in the Cutting Club and you're going to sell kits, you can also sell, you know, like I do the Kimber's Craft Box where I will have the scrapbook papers. You can cut these papers with your laser or with a silhouette, and do all kinds of fun projects. Okay, so for my cheeks, I have this pink paper, or excuse me, for my ears, I have this pink polka dot paper. You guys are going to help me out here. I'm just going to use the paper. And let's go ahead and glue our feet onto our bunny. Here. So I'm just going to put some super glue, and I am using the Stick Fast glue. Here comes Miss Zoe. She's coming to see what we're doing. And I'm just going to, what I'm doing is setting this up like this. Hi, BB. What's he doing? Okay, so there is our bunny. Look at how cute he is. I love those ears. Your women's brains are constantly going a mile a minute. Oh my gosh. You have no idea what happens in there. It's crazy. Okay, so what we're going to do is, you guys are going to tell me, do you like, and make sure I don't drop anything in the water. Can you see, whoop, can you see this pink polka dot? Here, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my zig pin here. No, I can't do that because if I get glue on my paper. So I'm trying to decide if for the inside of my ears, if I want to go polka dot or if I want to just do pink. So let's hold this up here. And I don't want to drop these in water or anything. And see if I can. What do you guys think of that? Can you see? There's one that's just pink and one that's kind of the pink polka dot. Right, Brenda? My brain never stops. Never stops. What do you guys think? I thought that I was going to love the polka dots, but I actually think that I like it just with the plain pink. But either one of them is going to be super cute. What do you think? Robbie says the polka dot. They're, like I said, either way, they're going to be so stinking cute. Let's go with polka dots. Debbie likes the polka dots. Mary Jane likes the polka dots. It is. Okay, so now we're going to take these guys over. I think I need to get rid of this for a minute. Let's set that up there. And we're going to Mod Podge these. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'll Mod Podge. I was going to say that I'm going to need a smaller brush though. I was going to say that I could use my zig glue gun. Okay, so these need to go like this. My paper's only going to go one way. So, boop. Okay. Make sure I have my paper going the right way, and I'm going to just pounce some Mod Podge on there. I cannot wait to get this put out. So I got some shelves. I won't say they're new shelves because I've had them for like 3 years. And I was dropping a kit off at a friend's house. So Tammy, if you're watching, she'll know exactly who I'm talking about. And you guys, I went into her house. Leanne likes them both. Her house is so magazine worthy. It is crazy. And, you know, I have to say that because over the years I have decorated and undecorated so many things. I had the flower shop, and it was, you know, every season it's decorated, it's undecorated, and the coolers had to be decorated. Everything is decorated. And then, you know, I love to decorate my home, and then now we have the salon, and so, you know, we decorate for all of those seasons. And I kind of got a little burned out on decorating and undecorating, but I love everything decorated. So anyway, I still do it, but I kind of was like losing my inspiration for it until I went into Tammy's house. And I am like, oh my gosh. So she's very primitive, a lot like how Miss Tracy decorates, but it is, oh my gosh, so adorable. So after being at her house, I was totally re-inspired, came home, and I am just ready to get started. I can't live in a magazine type home. Rose, it's gorgeous though. It's not unlivable. It's not like you have to not touch anything. It was just gorgeous. Okay, so since I'm doing the polka dots on the ears, on the cheeks, I'm just going to do the pink. Okay, so I'm going to flip my papers over, make sure that they're going to go on here the right way. So yeah, it's definitely not one of those like homes where you just feel like you can't touch anything. You just walk in and your eyes are so busy because there's so much pretty to look at. I loved it. And so again, I just kind of came home totally re-inspired. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, these got to go on here just right. And I need to make sure that they're all lined out first. Okay, so I'm going to take that and flip it up. Well, that's the wrong side, no wonder. There we go. That does not want to go either. What's happening? Okay. It's like it's too big. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? That's why. The cheeks are not exactly the same size. There we go. Okay, so that one goes there. Boop. And then this one goes on this one. Oh, I need the back side. That's what I'm talking too much and messing my brain up. You're right though, Rose. I think that too. Every time I'm going to do something, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is going to take a lot of dusting. Okay. But you know what? It still makes me happy. There was one year that I felt like I wasn't going to decorate because I decorate for every holiday. And I thought, I'm not going to decorate for Halloween this year. I'm just going to put a couple little things out and, you know, call it good. And the kids don't care. Husband doesn't care. It's all just for me. I mean, my kids did care when they were little. They loved it. But, you know, they don't live here anymore. And you're being a minimalist. I love that. I love that. I dream of that. But I also love my stuff. I do love my stuff. So anyway, the year that I decided I wasn't going to decorate very much for Halloween, it made me really sad. I was really sad. So even though sometimes when I'm really tired, but now things are changing. And so I don't, you know, I don't do as much at the salon anymore. I kind of let the girls do their own stations and let that kind of be its own thing. But anyway, so I was totally re-inspired. And hello, my friend from Lace and Rustic Charm. You're not a fan of dusting. I'm not a fan of dusting either. But, you know, little Swiffers work good. So yes, I was totally re-inspired. And I guess where I was going with that was I have some new shelves that I'm going to hang in the kitchen. And I can't wait to decorate the shelves with all these cute new pieces. Okay, and this is going to go on, I need to quit yakking. So you guys tell me if I'm yakking too much and taking way too long. like I said, this is why those 45-minute time slots, I just couldn't do it. Just can't do it anymore. Okay. So let's we're going to go back to the polka dot side here for that heart. And then for his nose, I got to decide. Where's his little nose? We'll get everything put together and I'll decide if I want his nose polka dots or not. Okay, so now we have to ink up our cheeks. But I need, where is my, okay, where did I put my little tray of ink? Oh, there it is. I always just have my little basket here. These are the ones that I use the most. Okay, so let's see. I need a dark pink or like a rose color. That is pickled raspberry. Let's see. Okay, I think that pickled raspberry will be a good one. And then I need a pinkish Jobber. It's so hard to engage with community when it's only 45 minutes. I know. I love Craft Around the Clock. I really do. Like I said, I just, the 45-minute time slots for me were just my downfall. And I always felt like I was hurrying and not doing a good job. I was frustrated by the time I got done that I was just like, I'm done. I'm not even going to post the picture. It didn't turn out like I wanted to. And so I was busy trying to get the Cutting Club stuff together as well. And so I just decided to take a little break. But you know what? It was so wonderful for me. Oh, thank you, Leanne. Swiffer is the best friend. It was so wonderful for me to get me back into the swing of going live because, you know, after my mom passed away, I just was just kind of floundering. My numbers were way down because my, you know, everything tanked while I took a break. And so it was nice for me to have that, to hold me accountable and also know that I would have some eyeballs. So I do not regret it one bit. And I probably will go back to doing that later after I kind of get my life back in order. Because sometimes, you know, I will get so busy. Oh, thank you, Angela. I don't know how they do it either. I didn't do a very good job. I forgot what I was going to say. But thank you so much, Angela. Okay, so now I've got my little cheeks all sanded here. We did go with just the plain. I'm going to ink those up around the edges a little bit. Make sure they're distressed looking. And you know, most of my kits, they probably can go together a lot faster, but I'm a noodler. I like to just kind of, I just kind of like to noodle around with what I'm doing. And do I like this? Do I like that? And I'm never fully, completely prepared for what I want to do. I have a thought or, you know, kind of an idea in my head, and then I have to kind of change things up if I feel like it. And okay, so there's all of our little pink stuff. Now let's see if we can, how we want these cheeks to go. I think I want to do a little bit of dry brushing on the cheeks with some white. So I need one of my stencil brushes. I think this one will work. Okay, so I just need some white paint. You just gave a name to the exact thing that you do when you're crafting. Noodle? You're a noodler too? I am very much a noodler. I'm a noodler with everything. I can take the longest time to do the simplest things. Okay, so I just put a little bit of white paint on this little stipple brush. And what I want to do on my cheeks is just kind of give them a little bit. Well, I keep taking it all away. But I just want to give it just like a little bit of kind of some little highlights. And in my brain, what I wanted to do, here we go. Okay. Maybe I should have used a different brush. My little fan brush, maybe. So I'm going kind of like a crisscross. I'm pouncing some of that off of there. And then I'll just use a really light hand and go fast. Doot, doot, doot. And come back the other way. There we go. Whoops, that was a lot, but that's okay. Okay, we'll rinse that out. You have to do a little and sit back and look at it for a bit, make decisions. Yes, girl, I get it. I get it. All right, so okay guys, where's my, hold on. I gotta step over here and wipe my nose, and I cannot do it on camera. Okay. I have to remember which one's my nose paper towel. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just glue our little cheeks down. It wasn't quite how I wanted them to look, but it'll be okay. And oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, then we'll put our glue on the backs of our little hearts here. And sometimes I like to offload my glue. So I'm going to come over here to the very edge of my paper, and I'm just going to drop that heart on there. And the reason I do that is so that when I put this down, glue doesn't squish out from underneath it and make a shiny spot. Because I don't like that. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. Making sure that I get over to the edges. Excuse me. Come over here, plop it down, and I just kind of like pounce it on the paper just to get rid of any like goopy extra, because it doesn't take very much. And then we'll just drop that right on there. Oh my goodness. I am right noodler. I'm glad I could make you smile, Kim. Lacey, okay, is it Lace? Tell me your name again. I'm sorry. I always see the business names and then I forget the first names. I am using stick fast glue, and I think that it works great. So this one is the medium, and I like the consistency of that. I have not tried the thick, but I do like the medium. Let's see, what kind of glue are you using? Okay, that was, and what kind of stick fast. So I'm using the medium. I like the medium because, like I said, it does give you a little bit of extra thickness. Sometimes that other can be so runny. Okay, isn't it adorable? Thank you, Jamie. Okay, so now we have to decide. I'm going to stick my little nose down here. And do we want a polka dot nose, or do we want the little pink nose? I think I'm not sure. I think maybe I better go with I don't know, that little polka dotted nose. is really cute. Let's do polka dotted. You have to go, but you're going to order this kit. Okay, Kimberly, I did put the link in the comments. So you will be able to order this one. But I'm not sure if you were here or if you're still here. I won't be able to offer this as a craft box because I don't have enough papers to be able to do that. Hello Lisa. I order it off of Amazon, the Stick Fast. That is the only place that I've ever actually seen it. I've never seen it in the store. You know, there are some other good craft glues. Actually, you know, the dollar store craft glue is actually a really good glue. For paper crafting, at least. So, okay, how you guys doing? You still hanging with me? Everyone is raving about the Art Glitter Glue right now for wood kits. It works like Stick Fast, but doesn't stick to your fingers. Oh, I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to give that a look up. Okay. So I'm just going, I sanded a little bit, and then now I'm just going and inking up a little bit. And then put that cute little nose right up there. And do I want it upside down? No. See, this is why it takes me forever, because this is me noodling. This is me noodling. Lisa, you know, I looked about 3:30. I think they were supposed to have a press conference today at 4:30. And obviously I had already made a commitment to be here. But no, they have not found him. And it is just so incredibly sad. So sad. I spent all day, let's see, was it Sunday? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, so all Sunday and yesterday just kind of glued to what was happening, and I don't know. It's hard to speculate. There's so many, you know, they're not treating it as an abduction, but that's not to say that didn't happen. So I guess we're not going to know. Hello, my friend Teresa. It is so incredibly heartbreaking, and I think it was why it was really kind of heavy on my own heart is because, you know, I have two grandsons, and one is 18 months and one is 16 months. And so the whole thing just kind of, I just cannot even imagine the pain. Okay, guys. Look at how cute is that bunny. You've always used Art Glitter Glue for paper crafts, but it doesn't give a lot of wiggle room. Once it's down, it's down. And that is the thing with the Stick Fast as well. I mean, you have a couple seconds and that's it. That is it. Okay, so I did not really think about, I'm going to have to put a riser behind my, my watering can. And did I bring one up? I don't think I did. Because when I was designing this and I just kind of laid my watering can on top of here, it's not going to sit flat or flush. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for later because I really just want to do the bunny. He's got a pocket, or she's got a pocket. And I think because we did her so the pink is very girly, we're going to go ahead and make her a girl. And I'm trying to decide. I want to put a, I think I'm just going to put a jute, bow around her, and I'm not going to tie it around her neck because then she won't sit flush. But I think I'm going to try to do a double one I don't think I'm probably going to finish the watering can part of it tonight, you guys, because there's a lot of pieces of paper. I don't like that fat piece in there. There is a boop. But let's give her a double jute bow. Thank you, ladies. Are the nose and cheeks the same thickness of wood? Yes. So the bunny and the frame are cut from 1/2-inch wood, and her feet. All of her overlay pieces are cut from 1/8-inch wood, and the watering can is cut from 1/4-inch wood. And actually, the last 1/4-inch wood that my husband picked up for me is kind of like an in-between. It's not a full 1/4-inch, and it's not, but it's thicker than an 1/8-inch. It's really strange. And it's the same wood that we've always bought. Okay, yes, I think I'm going to do the jute bow. I think I'm going to stick with the jute because I do want her to look kind of, you know, rustic and primitive. So we will glue on a little jute bow for her. Okay, now for her pocket. I did not cut a piece of paper for her pocket. So, and I left that paper out in the shop. So we are going to, I'm not going to glue that on just yet. I think we're just going to go ahead and maybe I want her pocket to be, let me see what I got here. I got paper galore, so I'm just scanning to see if something pops out at me. I think maybe I just want to do her pocket like a yellow. So let me see what I got over here. Okay. Actually, I probably have some down here in my stash. That might be a little bright. That is a little bright. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this, no, because my flowers are yellow. Okay, we're going to paint it. We're just going to paint it white and distress it. How about that? I think that's a great idea. Where's my little paintbrush there? So we're just going to paint it white, and then we will distress it. How about that? Or maybe we'll paint it white with some yellow. How about some, I got some King's Gold. What do I got over here? Let's do something a little bit different. Let's do this crocus yellow. No, that's too bright. See, we're noodling. Let's just use King's Gold mixed with a little bit of white. Hello, Darcy, my friend. How are you? Hello, Sage. I was looking away. I almost missed you guys. How are you, ladies? Okay, so I'm just dipping my paintbrush that already had white on it into the King's Gold lid. This is still wet, so let's just see if we can kind of make our own color. My nose, sorry. Oh gosh. We'll just make our own color. How about that? And it's going to be perfect. Whoops, we got some string in there. I think that will be perfect. So let's let that dry. I can hit it with a hairdryer. And in the meantime, our little tiny flowers, let's let that dry by itself. Our little tiny flowers that are going to go on top of the pocket, we do have papers for those. So, where did I put the papers for those? Everything was right here together, Kim. So, they did not wander off. They're probably under here. There they are. Okay, so we have our cute little flowers. And I think there are 4 of them. And we have our carrot, so we need to paint our carrot. Now I feel like I'm taking too long. Are you guys still with me? Okay, I'm missing one flower. Okay, so we're going to use 3 flowers. That'll be fine. Okay, and that goes on the watering can. Let's do our carrot. And we are going to use, it's over there. Nothing? It's over there. Oh, yes. I've got this pumpkin. I have this pumpkin. It's not even open. Where'd my scissors go? I figure as long as I still have a handful of people, it's fine. Okay, so let me get that off of there. And I need just such a tiny bit. There's not even really any sense in. So this is Pumpkin by Waverly. And we're just going to paint our little carrot here. And see, even that was too much. Doot. I like this color because it's kind of, it's muted, but then when I go to shade the outside edges, it really adds a lot of character. So I'm now going to come over here, and you know my favorite green is the marsh green. That's Kelly green. Okay, but that's glossy. So we are going to use, actually I have this Clover Truffle by Folk Art. Let's just get that. And we're going to paint the top of our, I should have cut some polka dotted orange. I kind of forgot about my carrot. Okay. Those are done. We're just going to shade those up when they're dry. And then we're going to put those little, we're going to glue the papers on the flowers. Mod Podge brush. And Mod Podge lid. Isn't it cute? So he's got a little carrot in his pocket, or her pocket. Just one little carrot. Okay, get my flowers turned over right. And I'm not really even sure what I made that little tiny flower for. Sorry for the sniffles. Oh, I hate that. When I was working at the salon and I would have a cold and trying to do people's nails, and you can't, I mean, your hands are busy like this, so you can't, and I would hate it when I was just all sniffly. Okay. Now, these are polka dotted side up, and they're pretty easy to place because there is one little tiny petal that's on the top. So you can kind of see where it goes. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to step away for a second. Okay, it's a good thing I'm not giving this piece away to anybody. It's got my cold germs all over it. I did not have a runny nose today. That's what's so funny, is most of the day I was totally fine. What did I miss here? You quilt and hand applicate and have been collecting fabric since early 90s. You have a problem? I have the same problem. I don't. I don't quilt, and I haven't been sewing for a long time, but I still have a tendency to hoard fabric. I still have fabric that my daughter is 34, and I still have fabric that I made her little dresses. We called them our little Laura Ingalls Wilder dresses. And I still have them. I mean, I still have that fabric. Okay. I don't even really think I need to distress those with that. Okay, I'm looking for my, there it is. We're going to ink up our little flowers here a little bit. Doot, doot, doot. Doot, doot, doot. Just a tiny bit, just to give them some fun. And I'm going to let that dry with the hair dryer for a second. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn on the hair dryer for like 30 seconds, if that, just to give these a quick dry. So plug your ears or turn your volume down. And it kind of does get worse in the evening. Well, you know, we were all sick with the stomach virus that kind of went around through all of us. And then my husband never got that, but he ended up getting more like the flu. And then I ended up with a cold after that. So I'm not really sure what all we were passing around back and forth. Okay, so I'm going to use this Cottage Ivy, and I'm just going to ink up the edges with the inker, kind of giving it a little bit of extra something. And then I'm actually going to dry that too, because that was wet. Okay, so Debbie, no. I know they're really tiny. So, do you have a silhouette or an electronic cutter of any kind? So, if you do, then you can cut them from paper or heavy cardstock, especially if you're doing it like this, and they'll be fine. And I did earlier today. I made that that extra kind of instructional sheet, and I did say that if some of these pieces are too tiny to cut with a scroll saw, then you can either you can use them as use the paper as a pattern to paint them on later, or you can cut them with heavy cardstock and do them that way if you have an electronic cutter. And you can cut paper with your laser. So I'm not sure what kind of laser you have, but all of these paper pieces were cut with my laser. You just kind of have to look up settings for your particular laser, and then you can cut those out of cardstock, or even like chipboard would work. So you just got a nice collection. Okay, little pocket. Okay, that's probably not what I would have chosen. So maybe I won't glue this all down, just because I want, oh my gosh. You guys, seeing it all come together is always so much fun. Okay, I'm going to, I still see ink on there. I'm going to just distress the edges of my carrot up a little bit. And I may not glue the flowers on top of my pocket, because maybe I want to cover that with some scrapbook paper too. Okay, so we are just going to lay this down. My nose. Okay, we're going to lay this down. So, Debbie, but you have a laser. So if you have a laser, then you can cut these out with chipboard, or even like a piece of cardboard. You'll have to kind of play around with your settings and see what, but it'll just zip right through that. And then even though they're not wood, they still are just going to be like right on top of something. So it's not like they're so fragile that you couldn't do that. You guys, this is stinking adorable. I'm going to leave it just like that. That pocket is perfect. So I need to figure out where I'm going to glue this down, and if I want it to be straight or if I want it to be kind of little, I think I'm gonna make it a little tiny bit leaning. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of tip that a little bit sideways. And it is so cute. So cute. And then I'll have to make a little tiny bow for my carrot. Okay. And then I'm going to put just a very small line of glue across here. And I'm going to put one in the middle and one off to the side and one off to this side. Zoe opened my craft room door, so I can hear my husband's got some sort of a... Oh my gosh, you guys. So cute. Look at that. How fun is that? And I think it's fine that it doesn't have scrapbook paper on it. It's always because you get a yard, because you never find it again. Oh, girls, see, we get you. We do. I totally understand. I could never buy just one piece of scrapbook paper. I had to buy, 5 or 6. And then it's such a conundrum if it has something on both sides. Okay, guys, so I think that I'm not really sure what I want to do with my watering can, and I need a riser on on it, excuse me. And then I'm going to have to glue all my papers on my flowers, and I feel like I have taken up enough of your time, so I'm going to cluster those all together. And I think it is so stinking adorable. So let's go ahead and glue her down. Are we ready? Thank you, Robbie. I'm glad you love her. So what I'm going to do, let's get all of our stuff off the back. So I'm just going to take my glue, do some little swirlies, choop, make sure I get up to the top, around the edges. Doot. Some in the middle. And find a place to grab on that it's not going to stick to me. And lay her down in there. And then press. Oh, thank you, my friends. Okay, so I think I'll do the watering can because it's already been an hour and a half. See, where does the time go? I'll do the watering can and share that with you. Now, she doesn't have a face. She has nose and cheeks. So I'm going to go ahead and put some little eyes on her. And how I'm going to do that is my stylus over here. Is it still packed away? Oh, there it is. Okay. This is always the scary part. And we'll practice a little bit. I need my black paint. And what I do is I'm going to put just a couple drops of black paint on my paper plate. And then I'll take my stylus or my dotting tool, and I'm going to use the, I'll probably use the fatter side. Now you can do a couple of things here. Do I have a pencil? I used to take a pencil and kind of come in here and just like make 2 little dots where I wanted my eyes. And I know it's terrifying, especially when you're doing it on paper. So just practice a couple times. So Debbie, you have Cricut. Linda can help you with that, my friend. I do not have a Cricut. So I can't tell you off the top of my head how to do that. But like I said, you can cut it with your laser too. Okay, so I'm just doing a couple. I just dipped my dotting tool into my paint, and I'm just going to come over to my plate and I'm just going to practice a couple of times. So I'm going to do a dot and a dot. And I like my eyes to be a little bit kind of offset, one a little higher. And then I'm going to make sure that my dots are nice and healthy there. And then I'm going to flip my stylus around to the skinny part. And I like to just put it down in the middle and just pull. And I'll show you those little eyeballs right there. Can you see those? So now that we've done it on the paper plate, let's come over here and do it on our paper. And I have a white patch over here, so I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to do a dot and a dot. Make sure your stylus is loaded, dot and a dot. And then I'm going to flip that over and just pull down. Okay? So it kind of looks like 2 little almost comma things. So I'm going to load up. Make sure there's no paint that I'm going to transfer onto my paper. And I'm just going to make sure my hand is steady. And I'm going to do a dot. Dot. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off. So just find a place, rest your pinky, and make a dot. And then I'm going to do another dot just a little bit higher. And you know what? I don't think that I'm going to do that pulling method. I think that her little eyes are just fine. Aren't they cute? So cute. All right, my friends, I think that that probably is a really good stopping place tonight, if you want to hang out with me, because I am going to finish the flowers. If you want to hang out with me, that's great. But I'm just going to finish gluing my papers onto my flowers and then putting them on my flower pot. Or excuse me, I keep saying flower pot, my watering can, because I almost made it a flowering pot, because that's what I was going to do. And I don't know what color that I'm going to paint this. I'm thinking a gray. So I think I'm going to use this Italian sage. I really don't want a green. I wanted more of a gray, but this sounds pretty. That's gorgeous. So that's what I'm going to do. So you guys can, you know what? I'm just going to stay on here because I'm going to be painting it anyway. So you can stay with me, or I understand if I've been on here for way too long. So I'm just going to paint up my little watering can here. And this is a gorgeous color. This is Folk Art Matte, and it's number 467 Italian Sage. It's beautiful. It's not a gray, but it's not really a green. So it's adorbs. Trying to stay off the edges. You have nowhere else to be. Oh, okay, Mary Jane. Well, we'll see you next time. And I will and Leanne's going to stick around too. I will post a picture as soon as I'm done. This isn't really going to take that long. It's just the you know, kind of the tedious parts of gluing all those flowers on, or all those papers on the flowers. Okay, so we'll let that dry. Come back over here and change out our color here. We're going to come back over here to our Mod Podge, lay our flowers out. Remember, they each have a skinny top. Skinny top, skinny top. And these are going to be skinny top, skinny top. And that goes that way. So we got 1, 2, 3. Why am I missing some flower paper? Oh, 4, 5. There we go. We weren't really missing them. Okay, I'm just dabbing. I'm going to dab this on. Actually, a makeup sponge would probably work really good with this too. I'm going to do 2 at a time. I love the soft colors of this bunny. Love, love, love. You wouldn't even have to put that watering can on there if you didn't want to. These would be so cute, just kind of glued around the frame as well. And that's why on the original file, for those of you that are in the Cutting Club, I actually did go back and added a couple of extra flowers, because if there's extra space on the wood, I usually try to just fill it up. There's no sense in throwing away blank pieces of wood, right? Not when you can cut an extra flower or... Okay. Boop. Okay, something just dawned on me about the, about cutting it with the Cricut versus the laser. You told me you had a Cricut and you said you couldn't cut these flowers with the scroll saw. But yes, you can cut them with the Cricut, so you'll do good. Or you can enlarge the file and, you know, just cut your flowers bigger. You could use paper flowers across the pocket if you wanted. I always try to find kind of solutions, I guess, for ways to use the file. So yes, Leanne, I started the Cutting Club file. And so the Cutting Club is actually, I'm going to do my hairdryer for just a second, okay? I'm sharing my file. So the Cutting Club is a monthly subscription group where I will share at least 3 files a month. Okay, I'm gonna, it will be more than 3, but at least 3. Because sometimes maybe it'll be, I don't know. I'm always coming up with things, and so I'm sure that more often than not, there will be more than 3 files. And then I'm not only doing them in just SVG files, but I'm also doing them in a PDF. So the PDF form can be printed out and then cut with a scroll saw or a jigsaw or bandsaw or whatever you have. The SVG files, if people don't have a laser, thank you, Robbie. If they don't have a laser, then they can actually cut the, they can use the PDF pattern to cut it with their jigsaw. I said that already. And then if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette or another electronic cutter, you can use the files and cut them with or you can cut the SVG files with that. There goes my brain. It's doing its thing again. It's freezing because I'm thinking, trying to think and talk at the same time. So yes, so I started that a couple of weeks ago, and every month, at the beginning of every month, I'll remove the files from the month before and post new files. And yeah, I wanted to be inclusive with people who don't have a laser, because lots of people want to do it, but they don't have the capability of cutting the wood with a laser. So with the scroll saw, oh my gosh, you guys, it is pouring down rain. You can do it with a scroll saw, jigsaw, but you can also use Cricut Silhouette, and you can do paper piecing or vinyl. Some things maybe you will be able to use with the and use vinyl. But I'm trying to make sure that people who have a Cricut and want to use the files for paper piecing, or Cricut or Silhouette and want to use it for paper piecing, that all of the files would be really cute that way. So I can tell you, like with this one, you could use the chipboard like I talked about earlier, or just layer, heavy cardstock, 3 or 4 layers of that. Cut your frame out of cardboard, or use a store-bought frame. You wouldn't have the wonkiness, but you could use a store-bought frame. So yeah, because I started with a scroll saw. I cut with a scroll saw for years, and then I got my Cricut, and had that for several years, and then I had my Silhouette, and I would cut chipboard. My Cricut did much better with the chipboard than my Silhouette did, and so that is actually how I ended up with a laser. Funny story is, so years ago I had the Cricut Expression, which is, I shouldn't have moved that. I can't get that flower in there. I had the Cricut Expression, and it would actually cut chipboard pretty good. And my Silhouette never really did cut chipboard really well. So I was wanting to make a banner. Okay, that flower is just not going to go there. I was wanting to make a banner, and I had given my Cricut Expression to my niece, and I asked her if I could borrow it back because my Silhouette would not cut the chipboard. And yes, even applique for quilting, which is something else that I've been toying with. Okay, I've got my little flower centers here. And so all of a sudden the Glowforge started popping up in my feed, and I became totally enamored with the idea of being able to cut kits for people. And that's how this all got started. And that is how I became a laser owner, and why I became a laser owner. So yes, I actually am in a couple of laser groups, and somebody was posting in one of those groups. I'm actually going to put some glue over here. They were showing examples of how they have used their laser to cut their embroidery files. And now I'm like, oh great, something else to fixate on. But wouldn't that be so fun? I mean, can you imagine this would be such a cute applique. And the other thing is, so with the SVG file and or the PDF, you can print out the pattern and cut it out of fabric. It's right here. Cut it out of fabric, and even if you hand cut it, And wouldn't that be so cute on a pillow? Stinking adorable. Okay, I think that I'm just going to have to call it macaroni here with, oh, that's going to slip right in there. Whoops. I put it in there, now I can't get it out. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go back and just kind of wash those flower centers, but there is our little watering can. So yes, could you just see him? You could cut him out of fabric, or her out of fabric, and then applique her onto a pillow, and she would be so stinking adorable. Okay guys, so I'm going to I need to ink up the edges of this, and I need to do it with a green color. I think I'm just going to do it with that dark green that I had. So we're almost done. We're almost done. And this would not have taken me 2 hours if I had not been yakking. Oh, you know, I should have did that in a blue. I should have did it in a blue. Stinking cute. Okay, and then I'm going to, I'm just going to take my ink and I'm going to ink up those flower centers. Not that one. I should have did that before I glued them on. There we go. Now I'm going to glue this on. I need a riser behind here, but if I glue the handle down and glue it onto the bunny foot, it will be fine. Do I want it little wonkadoodle? Okay, 1 minute and we will be done. 1 minute. Oh, me too, Robbie. She's so adorable. And then I think I'm going to come back over here with my white. Let me shake this bottle. I'm just going to do a little bit of, we're going to do a little bit of detail work. This is what I never had time to do. So on her, let's see, I'm going to use the fat side of my stylus. On her cheeks, I'm just going to do a couple of dots. Move my hair out of the way and just go doot, 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 and doot, doot, doot. And we're going to come up here with on her ears and do a little bit on her ears. Doot, doot, doot. And doot, doot, doot. Super cute. And how about a little dot on her nose? She needs a dot. And then I think on the carrot top, I'm going to do doot, doot. And down here on our heart, doot, doot. And then I think I'm going to take my, I don't know where my skinny pink paint pen is, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to do a little bit of lining on my watering can, just to do, that will just kind of add a little bit of interest. To that. And maybe a little bit of stitching around her pocket. So I'm just going to make some little stitch marks. And I don't think I'm going to do any stitching around her, but I am going to come in with this brown. Actually, I'll just do it with paint. Our little tiny pocket flowers, they need some dots in there. So I think I'm going to use, I'll use this burnt umber. Hi, Tammy. Oh, thanks, Teresa. It's taken a while, but that's because we've been yakking. Actually, I'm going to use the skinny part. And I'm going to come over here to our little flowers and just give them like 3 or 4 dots in the middle of the brown. And then we'll come back and do the same thing with the white. Gives them some detail in the center. So we're just going to come in here and doot, doot, doot. And I think that that's good. Now I just need to glue my bows on, which I did not plug my glue gun in. So I'm going to make a little teeny tiny, I grabbed this because this jute is super duper skinny in that little spot. And I want a tiny, tiny little bow for my carrot. Teeny tiny. Boop, boop. That's even too big. So I'm going to have to untie this jute and then make a little bow because even that one's too big. And then she's going to have a jute bow around her neck, but because my paint dots are wet, I'm not going to do that just yet. Hi, Jessie. Oh, wouldn't that be cute? I can cut you this for out of cardboard, Jessie, but I'm not going to be releasing this file as a printable, but I'll send you a message, okay? Okay. So I think that I'm going to just be done with her for tonight, except for later on, like I said, I will put a little bow around her neck, and I will put a cute little tiny bow on her carrot. I'm not sure if I want to make this a hanger or if I want to make it a just a little shelf sitter to like set up like this one is on the shelf. So I'll kind of decide that later, but there is that kit, you guys. So this kit, I did share the link, and it is I called her the Sweet Bunny. So she's the Chunky Wonky Spring Bunny in a frame. And she is ready to order. You can order her tonight if you want to. Otherwise, the file is in the Cutting Club if you'd like to find her there. So thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. It's almost 6 o'clock here in Oregon, so that was like a 2-hour project. Okay, that was the longest video I have done in a really long time. So thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it, and there will be more to come. So do you guys have any questions? My sound effects, Brenda. Everything works just a little bit better if you put a little boop in there, don't you think? I think. Little boop, little boop, boop. So thank you so much, ladies. Okay, I'm going to go get dinner. So I will talk to you all soon. Like I said, there will be more to come, and I am ready to get back into being creative. So thanks for hanging out with me, ladies. You have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Bye.